Oh, hello. Welcome to another episode of Becoming Enchanted with the Rustic Spirit. I am your host, Stacey Lee.
I'm Gary Lee.
I'm laughing because I always start to make welcome to the show comments. And I put a welcome to the show comment on my Stacey Lee page and it came out fine. But then on the other pages, I put welcome to the shoe. So we are in the shoe tonight, apparently. That is my brain thinks too quickly. I start typing and then I don't even check what I'm doing. I type and I boom, and yeah, shoe, one of the two. But welcome, welcome. Let's see who we have here with us tonight. Debbie, hi, Debbie's. I want to talk to you because I want to see if Monday night you're going to be at Buffalo Wild Wings for the half BOGO burgers. So
it's Thursday too.
Is it Thursday too? So maybe we should meet up on Monday and go have burgers.
Or Mondays
and stick around, Debbie, because I have you guys on here. We're going to talk a little bit about the radio station. So I think that's all we have for right now. We have 3 viewers, but only 1 comment. Not everybody likes to comment. So before we add our guest on tonight, I want to go over just some things. So our podcast is called Becoming Enchanted with the Rustic Spirit. This is not the right graphic. I'm still trying to update it. And you can find us on Thursday evenings, Facebook Live and YouTube. But you can also find us on Spotify and iHeartRadio. And I believe we're on Amazon Music. And I was somewhere the other day and I saw us come up. I'm like, oh, I didn't know we were there. And I forget where it was at. But so just search us. You should be able to find us. And you can listen to us. If you don't catch us live, you can always listen to us later. And then again, struggling with this. I need to promote myself. I don't promote myself enough. I have lots of people in here that I promote, but don't promote me. So I am now booking a Reiki, yoga, intuitive readings, life coaching. And this is at Stellar Fitness in York, Pennsylvania. It is right up the street from me. So I now have a spot here in York that's not my home to do sessions at. So please reach out to me if you'd like to book. You can message me to book, or you can go to stellarfitness.com. Again, this is really uncomfortable trying to promote my own self. I wanted to let everybody know that I still am offering virtual video readings for $25. I will send it to your inbox. It's a 3-card reading if you're interested, and I will give you a personalized video sent to your inbox. And this is something Gary and I both do. We make candles. We've been making candles for a while, and we have launched our Spirit Flames by the Rustic Spirit. It's 100% soy-based intention candles. Right now we have 4 different varieties: protection, divine healing, self, which is like a self-love, and by the light of the moon. So everything is intention-based with our candles. All natural essential oils, crystals, and herbs. And I have a puppy running around, so forgive me if you hear barks or crazy noises. You want to talk about this one? We're doing the investigation. Your turn.
You tell.
I try to get him to talk. I think he's just here for emotional support. So we are teaming up with Jopnik's Paranormal at Booby's Brewery on May 17th, which is Gary's birthday weekend. And we're very excited about that. To get tickets, you can go to boobiesbrewery.com. I think that's what it says. Paranormal investigation. I can't see because the slide thing is in the way. So, it's at Saver Stub. But if you go to boobiesbrewery.com and you go to entertainment and go to their calendar, you can find the date, May 17th. And we can book that investigation. It is in the evening. It is after Paraunity. I know, or not Paraunity, Pennhurst Paracon. It's about an hour from Pennhurst. So it's in the evening after Pennhurst, after the festivities are all over. So if you are attending Pennhurst, you can always come after. And then one of our sponsors. Now we can stop talking about us. One of our sponsors is the Doss House of Loretto, Pennsylvania, but run by Unique Paranormal. It is in remembrance of Holly Cataldo. They are offering a special for the end of February. The end of the month deal is $150 off a booking for up to 6 people. It's a $100 deposit required to book. You can find them at the Doss House on Facebook. Message out to me. Nope, it's booked. Never mind. Literally, no. Okay, so It's booked. All right, and then Jenny Davis is in the comments. She and I are coming up with a collab for me to make candles for her podcast in representation of her podcast. She is Unturned Pages. Please go out and follow her. She is an amazing person, and I love her. And she says, took about 2 minutes. So yeah, nix this, but still, the deal might be off, but they do have investigations coming up. Book your weekend or weekday investigations. Obviously, the weekdays are a little cheaper, so you can book either. It is, you saw the video in the beginning of the reel or the intro. It is a freaking amazing place. And they are also doing a Creep It Real festival. They're still looking for vendors for the first Creep It Real festival. It is going to be in the community center there. And you can send applications to the DOS House 278 at Gmail. If you need an application, just message me or message Shauna here in the in the comments. Shauna Rigsby in here in the comments. You can message her too and get the application. She is saying the DOS House is booking up fast, and it really is. Like, we were just the other day, I was at her house and we were looking through the calendar, and she's like, I just can't believe it. Every day I'm getting a call. And Jenny says, where's Gary? I need Gary to talk more. I'm trying to get him to talk more. I do all this intro stuff. When we get into talking to our guests, he does ask questions. So, yeah, the comments are like blowing up right now. I can't keep up. All right. So our last sponsor is the Maine Paranormal and Horror Con. That's happening September 6th and 7th at 2025 in Maine. And here are some of the guests that will be there. There's going to be Johnny Zaffis and Ronnie LeBlanc, and who is that? April Brissette. So they are all, I mean, this is just a small portion of the people that are going to be there, more of the paranormal people. There is going to be a lot of horror icons at this event, and it's going to be amazing. They are selling tickets right now for their event, and I'm going to put up a ticker right now at the bottom of the screen. You can right now get discounted limited time at the mainparahorror.com. And if you buy them in advance, you get a discount. So please go over and check that out. And I'm sorry, I'm not done. There's a lot of talking tonight. Mm-hmm. Rigsby's Bullies. We still have 2 French bulldogs left. Only 2 out of 16 dogs altogether. We have Kitty. And Kitty is she has 2 different color eyes. Actually, her one eye, this one right here, zoom in, people. It's 2 different colors. She is so sweet and so amazing and so chunky. She is just like freaking chunky. And then we have Patsy, and she is also a sweetie. So it's 2 Merles left. If you are looking for a bulldog, a French bulldog, please reach out to Rigsby's Bullies. Here is the number below. They're in Strongstown, PA. They will deliver for the price of fuel within reason. So I think that is it. We have no more to show. So tonight we have a guest that's actually been on the podcast before. I am very excited to have him back. I love what he does. I literally was driving past this old abandoned place when I was going up to Johnstown the other day. And I'm like, oh, that looks like someplace Lawrence would go. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, where would he, I'm literally thinking, I'll wait till he comes on and I'll tell him about this, but I'm literally thinking, like, where would I park if I was Lawrence? Like, what could I go look at this place? And I'm going through, I'm like, this must be what he goes through in his mind. So, and he records all these, and it's called MONDOdocs, and you can check him out on Facebook, YouTube. And he is just an amazing person and very brave. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Lawrence on stage. Hi, Lawrence. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I actually really was. I was thinking about you the other day, driving my son up to Johnstown, and we were coming up the mountains, the Allegheny Ridge. I don't know if you've ever been up in that area, Allegheny Ridge.
I know of it, yeah.
This marker, like 2,700 feet, like the highest point of the Allegheny Ridge. And coming back down, there's like this just side of the road, nothing else around, but this old abandoned house building. And I'm like, that looks like somewhere Lawrence would go. And
yeah, God, whenever I'm driving, I pass an abandoned place, I slow down. I just like, look. Like I almost get into an accident every single time. But I always ponder. I'm like, can I get in there? The other night, actually, my girlfriend and I were driving to get pasta at this place, and she was driving, and yeah, we drove by this abandoned house, and I just, I assessed it. I wonder if I can get in there. But yeah, it's I'm notorious for slowing down and checking out every single abandoned place I see on the road.
I'm with you too. I've always done that. Even as a kid, I remember going through a lot of different woods, and I'd see it. I think I remember I was like 14. We went sledding in the woods. I know that wasn't safe. I did run into a tree, but you're like 14, 15, and we're gonna like go wandering in the woods and go sledding. And there was this old like little shack, and I remember to this day like finding a shoe with nails in it, and I'm like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. Like,
wait, oh, you found a shoe with nails in it? Is that what you just said?
like the nails in the bottom of the shoe.
They were made with nails in the bottom.
I know,
like little tack nails.
Okay,
yeah, like how the old shoes were made. I wish I'd understand the importance now,
right?
Then than I do now. And I was like, oh my God, was it a love shack? It could have been.
Was it a love shack?
Could have been.
I wish I'd understand the point, because I would have like totally took those shoes. I don't even know where I was at. I don't even think I could get back there. It was like.
Also, I have to ask: was that chunky little dog named Kitty? Is that what I saw on the screen? Wow, that's a cute dog. 2 different color eyes. Dog? I don't. Don't need a dog.
Does. The one eye is literally like, I showed it to someone the other day and they got so freaked out by it. They're like, I can't look at that. But the one eye is like half. It's like there's a line in the middle of the eye and it's 2 different colors.
That's awesome. I love that.
Oh. And it's amazing.
Now I have a cat, and that's enough for the time being. So
I hear they get along with cats really well.
I'm sure they do. I'm good right now. Maybe down the road, sometime soon.
Okay, and they will always. She is a breeder, so she's always going to have litters here and there. So I think the next time, though, I think she's going to take reservations before following through with the insemination part.
Gotcha.
So Lawrence, tell us a little about yourself in a couple sentences. Like, who are you? What do you do?
I'm just a guy who goes to weird places. Sometimes they're haunted, and I film them. But no, I run the MONDOdocs YouTube channel. I started it back in late 2019. Long story short, the whole idea was going to be just about, it was going to focus on documentaries about strange places, strange people, and so forth. And it wasn't really going to focus on the paranormal so much. But it's funny because the first video that I did for the channel was at a haunted lake. Little did I know that's how things would go as time went on. And then when COVID hit, things shut down. So I thought, well, let's just go to cemeteries, abandoned places to film. Then I did more paranormal stuff. And the more haunted locations that I filmed at, the more intrigued I became by the paranormal. I mean, I've always been interested in haunted history and explorations. I mean, I first started ghost hunting back in 2006 when I was just out of high school. But I really got into it, quote unquote, full time in 2020. And here I am now, almost 5 years later, I've been to the Conjuring House, been to almost every single place in Gettysburg, the Hinsdale House I went to last summer. So I didn't really expect to go down this road of haunted explorations, but here I am.
It was probably what was meant to be. And I know we were talking a little bit earlier, because this is your very last day in your at 37 doing a podcast, right? Because tomorrow is your birthday.
I'll be 38 tomorrow.
Yes.
So one step closer to death. So yeah.
Okay, I got 10 years on you, so don't even. I'm still rolling. I'm still going. So we were talking a little bit, and like, we have today, I had to go through all my list. There were so many birthdays, and very close friends. I've had a couple of very close friends today whose birthday. I had a couple the day before, and then there's a couple day after. So there's a lot in this like time frame, a lot of Aquariuses, and we were having that conversation about why is there so many Aquariuses in the paranormal field. So I did do some research. I got out my book, and I was looking at those things. So Aquarius is actually ruled by the planet Uranus. Hey, Michael, I was, and Michael's here, so there's gonna be a joke because he's already said, I mean, the dog's name is Kitty. You can rename your cat to Doggy.
Controlled by Uranus. Depends what I eat. But yeah, typically, yeah.
Well, I don't know how much you know about astrology. It is the ruling planet of Aquarius is Uranus. I'm going to say it like that. But Uranus, like the characteristics is welcoming the unconventional, the revolutionary, and otherworldly. So it's almost like Aquarius is actually associated with the paranormal because of having that ruling planet. So I think that is where Aquarians often appear more open to exploring concepts beyond the normal realm of reality. So I think that's where that question we were saying earlier, that why is there so many Aquariuses in the paranormal? It's probably because of that. So I had to look that up.
It's interesting. Yeah. There's quite a few birthdays. I mean, I think almost everyone I know that's born on Valentine's Day, they also are in the paranormal community. Is that the new dog?
This is the dog.
Oh my God. Well, I'm no longer the guest here. This dog is now the guest. Look at it. Look at that. Cutie pie. Oh my.
I actually went to my Rudders the other day, and she's like, and I brought the dog up there, and she's like, "Oh, Raven, you're internet famous," because I bring her on the podcast every time.
Oh my God, Raven. How old is she?
She is 10 weeks, I believe.
My God.
Yeah, almost 10 weeks. So she's still puppy.
10 weeks. More than that.
She is going to get big.
Oh my God.
How big them paws are.
My cat is around here somewhere. Usually she's here bothering me, but I think she's in the living room asleep.
I know. I think last time you were on, she was in.
She might come crawling in eventually, begging for food or attention. But for those who don't know, she's like a little, well, not little. She's kind of a fat, hairy tuxedo cat named Zelda. So, and she's also a ghost hunter. I remember the first time friends and I investigated my apartment because we had a portrait up in the hallway that I got from the Super Gallery. It belonged to my old roommate, but she wanted this painting, this portrait. So we brought it home, and it was of this child with club feet, with deformed feet. So, does the dog want to go out?
Just go out.
We're not sure. She just made a little whine like she usually has to go out. So
I make the same noise when I go to work. So, just walk in.
She's a very dramatic dog. Yeah. She actually makes noises when she poops. She makes little grunts.
So do I. We have things in common, so it works.
She has sound effects.
But so we were this portrait. It was of a young child with club feet. The story is that the mother, the father, and the child were all attached to this portrait. Now, and I believe the kid died and the mother died soon after, and the baby was buried with the mother. And people report, I think, female voices, male voices around the portrait. When her and I brought the portrait home, it was still like in bubble wrap. We had it in the living room on the floor, and we're walking down the hallway, and we're talking, and I go into the laundry room. She goes to the bedroom, and there's still dialogue happening. I'm thinking it's her. So I'm like, why is she still talking? I can't hear her. So I go in the bedroom. I'm like, what were you saying? And she was like, that wasn't me talking. Was that you? I'm like, no, it wasn't me. Do I sound like a woman talking? So we both heard a female voice continuing this conversation after we finished the conversation that we were having by a few seconds.
Cool.
So, and then another night, I used to work overnights for a hot second. And when I was at work, I was on break, sent me a video. And what happened was she was in the bedroom on the bed with a puzzle, and the cat was asleep. She heard a loud thud against a wall in the hallway. Mind you, at this point, this is where the portrait was hanging up in the hallway. So here's a thud, a big bang against the wall, and then a dragging sound. The cat wakes up from it. Cat's on full alert, and she takes, not my cat, but the girl takes her phone out, starts recording, and is like, "What was that?" Talking to the cat. And after she says or asks, what was that? In the video, you can hear someone go, "What was that?" Mimicking her, essentially.
Oh.
And I told her, I'm like, listen, play that video back again and listen carefully. And she's like, "Oh, do you hear it too?" I'm like, yes. So part of the story is that my cat, we were all investigating, three of us were investigating this portrait in the hallway, and we had a REM pod on the floor to our left, and then the cat comes up to it and just bonks her head on the antenna and sets it off. That was a long story just for a joke about my cat hitting the REM pod with her face.
Yeah, but it was a good story. I really liked it.
But the portrait is gone now. It's up in New Hampshire with that person. And but I have other objects now. I felt pretty empty without some haunted objects. So I went back to the same place, the Creeper Gallery in New Hope, and got me an old 1900s Jack in the Box, which you can kind of see-ish. The story is that this father provided this Jack in the Box to his daughter as a gift, and then the daughter died in a fire with a few other kids. So they believe the girl. Thank you, Michael. I should have stayed up for a while and could make you breakfast. Michael distracted me. So they believed that the girl is still attached to the Jack in the Box, and to the right, my left of the Jack in the Box is a doll, the Betty Jean doll. So this girl and her parents were murdered by this spree killer, and it's believed the doll belonged to the daughter. So there are reports of young girl voices being heard around the doll and so forth. I haven't heard anything. Whenever I do investigate the doll or anything over there in that corner, my cat does get weird, to the point where she could be napping next to me, and if I don't even have to get a motion ball, which is a cat toy, or even the REM pod.
Yeah.
I can just sit here and be like, "All right, if there's anyone here with me, just start talking to whatever, like a maniac." That cat just wakes up and just comes over to me, and it kind of sits right next to me and just kind of looks at what I'm looking at. It's really weird. Like right now, I'm talking to you. She's not here. If I guarantee, I'm going to do it now because you won't do it. But if I'm just sitting here and I just start talking to that damn corner, I'm sure she'll come right in and be like, "What are you doing? I talk to them all day when you're at work." But
she's like, "These are mine. These are my ghosts. These are my spirits."
What are you doing? So
Michael asked any issues with the objects acting up. I want to say right now, before you answer that question, we got into talking earlier and I didn't get to say it because we went on another subject, but your camera on that side, I don't know if that's where your light is or whatever it is, but it seems like it's blurry over there where they are at right now.
This one, yeah, because I have a ring light right here, so it's gonna.
Okay. Oh, it's on your side. Okay, you have your ring light coming this way.
It's a style. It's an artistic choice that I'm doing here with this lighting. So.
Oh no, I've been trying to mine. I have mine in the front, so I've been trying to do Larry was on my podcast recently, and he looked freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. Everything's dark behind him, but he's illuminated. I'm like, how do I do that?
But
probably spend a couple $100 on lights, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I just have my ring light, and I try using this guy, but it's just too bright. But to answer Michael's question, not necessarily. Nothing really acts up here. I haven't really experienced anything. I did have a motion ball by the one doll. I was kind of by her feet. I was like, all right, if you're here with me, if there's anyone here, you can make that, you can interact with that ball, make it light up. It lets me know that you are here with me, that there is someone here. It validates that there's someone here, and we can proceed from there. Nothing was happening, so I'm like, all right, let me close my eyes, let me get comfortable and relax for a second. So I close my eyes. I'm like, all right, the ball lights up. Open my eyes, the ball is flashing. It's going off. Okay. So I'm like, all right, well, that could be by chance. So I'm like, all right, thank you. I'll leave the ball alone. To me, my cat walk around for a bit, do whatever. My cat follows me everywhere. But an hour later, if that, I go back in the office room, this room, and the ball is gone. I can't find it. So I'm like, well, where'd it go? The cat was with me this entire time.
Weird.
And I'm looking all over the place for it. I'm like, it's not on the floor. It's not here. And it's in between her legs, under her dress. And mind you, I jumped around. I hit the desk a little bit. And like nothing, Michael, like nothing, like there's no reason that should have happened. And the cat was with me. Unless the cat ran away for 2 seconds, jumped on there and just freaking hit it and then ran back out and came. I mean, that's very possible. But I don't know. So that was weird. But other than that, I haven't really experienced anything, I don't think.
You're so, like, what I've noticed about you, I don't think we've ever really investigated. We were at the Hoover House and did some things, but you're so inquisitive. But do you feel like you're a little skeptical?
A little. I'm very skeptical.
A lot. And I wonder if that's why some of the things don't happen, because like you're on one end, I think you want it to happen so much it won't, or you're so skeptical about it. Like,
I don't know. I try to approach everything with reason and logic and common sense. At least I try to apply those 3 elements to investigating. I don't know. I mean, I've had success investigating, but when it comes to these particular guys,
well, you're so close to them too. You know, I think other people, like especially my objects in my house, other people get way more stuff here than I do. My house is old. I live in the Underground Railroad. So
I will say I did wake up one night. Now, mind you, when you're asleep, you're not dreaming, but you do have sounds that you do dream, and they wake you up. Like a few times, I've woken up to my doorbell ringing, but it wasn't really ringing. My girlfriend told me recently she woke up to someone yelling her name in her house, but there was obviously no one there. She most likely dreamed it. One night here, maybe a month ago, I woke up to a young child, like almost like laughing, was singing, kind of a weird, like kid fashion thing, whatever little kids do. And that kind of startled me. I was like, huh, did I dream that? Or was my doll waking up and having a blast? But I don't know.
Or was it something from the Farnsworth?
I don't know. I don't know.
You're so connected to the Farnsworth. I feel like some of those spirits talk to you when you're not around. When you're not there, I mean.
So my girlfriend just texted me saying, "What the fuck? I didn't dream. Someone yelling my name. They did. Rude."
I am going to tell. I don't know if you saw my face when you said that, and I'm going to validate her, like as a psychic and as a medium and as an empath and all that. That was my first experiences, is hearing my name called. That's not a dream, and that's a very like a key sign that you are connected to your spirit guides. And
I mean, who knows? Her house. I mean, she says she has a dog, and she's had another dog before this one, and she hates that I'm talking about her right now. But she would hear footsteps, like a dog come up the steps and get in bed with her, when her actual dog would be still downstairs. Like the other night when she heard her name being called, she felt what she thought was her dog, like kind of sit up in her bed and curl up like next to her, kind of in her back, and the dog was downstairs the entire time.
So I would say that tell her to reach out to me, and that's her spirit guides. I would gladly help walk her through that. I do think they're reaching out to her. Jerry is saying talk to the doll and the Jack in Box more often. I think Michael's saying the same thing. Like the more we relax, allow it to flow, we can really get results. And Jerry, you know Jerry, right? From the Hoover House, you met him.
If I saw his face, I'd be like, oh yeah, Jerry, I know Jerry. Yeah,
he was there every time that you and I have been there. He's been there, so okay. I know.
I'm bad with names, so I don't remember anyone's name.
Yeah, I am too. He says, stop being so timid about the objects. They will respond if you pay attention to them.
Oh yeah, and I,
So,
you know, and I tell them, I've told them in the past, this is your home too. I want you to feel comfortable. I'm just here. You're just here. So just do what you need to do, and hopefully you feel at peace. So, and if you don't make yourself known, then go for it. If not, then that's okay too. But
yeah, and sometimes they want to talk. Sometimes they like. There's been times that spirits won't talk to me, but then someone else will go to a location and it's a friend and they'll get away. Like even with Shauna and I are really good friends, but it took someone outside of me because we're so close to give her the messages, that she needed to hear.
Yeah. But go back to the Farnsworth house.
Yes.
I love that place. I'm going back there again in a few weeks. The 28th. Yeah. Yeah. With a few people. But I can't wait. I've gone there, I think, 14, 15 times now. And for those who don't know, this is Kevin. Brother. I've gone there so many goddamn times now. But that place is really it's something. It's an incredible place. It really is. And for those who don't know, this is located right in downtown Gettysburg. It was used as a sharpshooter's nest and a field hospital, like every other building in Gettysburg during the three-day battle. And the story is that Jenny Wade, the only civilian who was killed during the Battle of Gettysburg, she was shot from a sharpshooter from the Farnsworth house, from the attic.
From that attic, yeah.
Yep. So the place is extremely active. I think it's the most haunted place I've ever been to. I mean, I've been touched there. I heard a woman humming in the bathroom. We've had a drawer in the vanity open up by itself.
Well, that was in your video. You had one of your videos of that, right?
I did a video at the Farnsworth house. The first time I did one, it was kind of the second one. It was the whole video is on the Farnsworth house, and
don't eat my candy. Sorry,
I should have
muted.
Eat the candy. But it's a crazy place, and I remember we went there on Valentine's Day a couple years ago. It was a group of us, my friends Sean, Kristen, and a few others. And we're on this, I think we were on the staircase with the whole place to ourselves. And we're on the staircase going up to the attic. And we're just investigating. And we just hear a woman go, "Watch," like in real time. A full-on disembodied voice. We luckily caught it on video. I'll bring it up here if I still have it. I might have transferred it to my computer, but it's one of the clearest and loudest disembodied voices that I've ever heard.
All the clearest and disembodied voices I've ever gotten have always been in Gettysburg.
Yeah. So luckily someone's recording on their phone. So this is me recording their phone. So
you hear them saying much.
Okay.
Can you play that one more time?
It's so gross.
Yeah, so it was so loud.
Wow.
It was so loud.
Yeah.
That's like ours when we had the kids saying, "We're bad at the orphanage."
The orphanage is great too. I love that place.
Yeah.
And the guy who lives above it, Tom Demko, I did a documentary on him. That's on my channel. It's just about him and him living above the orphanage. And if you ever get a chance to meet Tom Demko, he's a fascinating guy.
He is.
And he has a lot of stories about living above that place. And I would love to live up there. And I remember years ago when those apartments were available for rent, and I was really debating it. Now,
don't you wish you would have done it?
Yeah, I do. But now Tom Demko lives up there, which is fine. But he's a great guy. And the orphanage is, that's an interesting place.
That's probably my most active place. I've been to Farnsworth and did a couple things in Farnsworth. Definitely active, but the orphanage is what speaks out to me. But my places are always where there's kids. Like, that's what I do for a living. I work with children. So,
and with Gettysburg, it's so fascinating because the whole town is haunted, not just one place. And I've never had an experience like that where every place you go to, there's something there. And there's a theory that this, spirits, whatever you want to call them, they do travel from building to building in Gettysburg. They go from the orphanage to the Farnsworth house. They go to the from the Jenny Wade house down the street somewhere else. Like there is a theory that the spirits in that town roam from building to building, which I think is really interesting. Is that they don't just hang out at one location.
Yeah.
And same with the
I would
orphanage.
say, yeah, I would say I would definitely like. I can resonate with that because I've done a lot of different places in Gettysburg, and I can resonate with that. I'll feel like certain energies, and like, wait a second, this isn't the energy that is here. This is the energy from Farnsworth, or this is the energy from the orphanage. Yeah, like I feel like they do.
Even Mark Nesbitt's The Ghost of Gettysburg. That told me about. I've stayed in there a few times. The apartment above that shop.
So have I. Yeah.
Have you in that little apartment?
I didn't sleep that night.
It's interesting in there.
Do you remember we stayed there above there? It's like down there by like Hunt's Battlefield, and we were up like the Hunt's Battlefield fries down like
Yeah.
Right? Am I thinking of a different place?
We're thinking of I think Gettysburg Ghost Tours, maybe.
Yes.
Ghost of Gettysburg is Mark Nesbitt's. So it's down I guess up Baltimore. So past Farnsworth House, and it's on your left. It's kind of right next to, I think it's near Jenny Wade's actual house. Not her sister's house where she was killed, but her actual house.
But like across the street, like where the gas station is?
That up further? No. So you have the gas station on that corner, kind of that weird kind of
up when it does the Y and this goes up here.
So don't get confused. So now the town is confusing because you feel like south is north, and north is south.
I know. Gettysburg. Like when I first went there and watched the sunset, I'm like, wait a second, it's setting on the wrong side.
Oh yeah. I for the longest time I was like, I want to go up here. I'm like, wait, no, that's north. And it doesn't help that the Confederates, the Southerners, came in from the north. And they, because it
still racks my brain. Like the sun is setting on the wrong side in Gettysburg.
Yeah, because everything in that town is backwards. But so I guess the best way to put it is towards the circle.
Okay.
So for that
towards that way. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Down. Okay, that towards the library.
Yep. So towards there's a little ghost tour shop. One of the original ghost tour shops.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Yep. And a little white building. And that's where Stephen Panberry's old shop was back in the day.
Yes.
Before they moved up to Wayne, or I guess down to Waynesboro.
But I know exactly where you're at now.
Yep.
Okay.
So that building, there was an apartment, still is above that shop.
Okay. And
luckily I was able to sleep there a few times. And I guess there's a spirit called the Undertaker. He kind of roams, and the show Kindred Spirits with Adam Berry and Amy Rooney, they've investigated there, and they confirmed there's a spirit that kind of roams throughout the town, and he kind of makes a pit stop in that apartment, or at least in that building. And I remember one time, I think the spirit's name is Hank. At least one of them is. So one time before I went to bed, I was like, all right, Hank, I've been here many times now, and you've always been quiet. So let's see what you got. Then I fell right to sleep. And I woke up to this noise right next to my head. And it was like a dragon sound, like a metal dragon sound. I'm like, what was that? It's like a shovel? What? I don't understand what's going on. And then woke up and we're just moving everything around, trying to like figure out what it was. Was it outside? Was it inside? And I was on an air mattress, and next to me was a TV stand with an old metal lantern on top of it. You moved the lantern, right? And the lantern was the exact sound. So the lantern came closer to the edge of the table. And if it was moved any further to the edge, it would have fell on top of me. Tell that dog she is the new host of the show.
Sorry, I had to mute myself because I had to yell at the dog because she's eating in my chair.
Oh no!
I was paying attention.
I do the same thing. I eat chairs too. But no, the dragon sound. What we heard was the lantern on the table on the TV stand next to us.
So it was sliding.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sliding closer to the edge, where my head was right underneath
Okay,
it.
so you said
Uh,
dragging, not dragon.
Dragging, yeah, not a dragon, not a mythical
I was like,
dragon noise.
you heard a dragon? Sorry.
I wish that definitely
I'm
changes
like a geek.
more.
I play D&D and I do cosplay, so I heard dragon.
I don't blame you. But so that building is definitely interesting. There's some I've heard some disembodied footsteps there and so forth. But yeah, that is the theory, is that different spirits do roam throughout the town of Gettysburg.
I could see that. I could see that happening. I know we've stayed in multiple places in Gettysburg. We stayed at the Circle Square, the hotel there, the Gettysburg Hotel or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
No, the Gettysburg Hotel.
Gettysburg Hotel. We didn't get the room that is the most haunted, but we went onto that floor, and we're literally walking down the hallway, and like lights are flickering,
Yeah.
and as soon as we turned the corner, it was like this weird energy, and we did get an EVP. It wasn't like a Class A or anything. We got an EVP of the nurse Rachel that is in that place, because we were talking to the people and they're like, sure, go ahead. It was a winter weekend. Actually, I think it was Valentine's Day weekend a few years, because we always used to spend Valentine's in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
And it was a Valentine's week, and they said, yeah, go ahead, roam around, go look in the ballroom, whatever. So let us go in the ballroom, and we got some pretty good like activity in there, but a lot of it was that Rachel. That was, I think her name was Rachel, the nurse.
I haven't heard too many. I mean, I've heard it's active. I don't know too much about it. I know it burned down at some point, and it was it the 80s, I think, or maybe before the 80s.
I think it burned down. I want to say twice. Didn't know. Oh no, the pub next door burned down. The restaurant, which is across the other side, burned down. But then the hotel did too. But it was separate times. Are you frozen?
Oh, I think
You
Stacey
froze.
lost her internet.
I think that was me again.
Oh.
We're very windy. I'm like, all of a sudden, you had a very good look though while you were frozen. By the way.
Oh, did I? Good.
The pub burned down too. The pub restaurant. I don't know if that's. It's like, here's the Gettysburg Hotel, Carlisle Avenue, and then the pub.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, and then you have the Lincoln Inn, I think it's called, right next to Ghost City Tours.
Oh yeah.
I went in there New Year's Eve because I had a few friends
Mm-hmm.
staying there, and it's beautiful inside there.
Well, I think you just gave it away. Who your few friends New Year's Eve? There's only one group of people that stay there New Year's Eve. It's the Peaches.
Yeah, Karen and Perma Peaches. You know, and well, yeah, you were on Taryn's show.
I was there. I was on Taryn's show last week.
Okay, yeah.
And I was there New Year's Eve, not this New Year's Eve, but the one before that.
Okay.
In the square, yeah.
Yeah, and they rise a giant top hat, right, for New Year's Eve.
They don't anymore.
They do. They do.
So well, they do, but there's so much drama, or like fighting in between, like who's gonna run this New Year's Eve event. There's been a lot of political stuff.
Right. Yeah. This year was the
Masons took it over this year, right?
Yep. And they kept the top hat tradition, which was interesting to watch. But it was cool. I liked New Year's Eve in Gettysburg. So, and I think just being in Gettysburg in general is just, I don't know.
It is. I love Gettysburg. I need to go there. I haven't been there in a little bit. Like 2 months.
Yeah, I have to get back down.
That's a long time for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, here we go. We're freezing again.
You're not getting them. Is that you?
Okay, I don't know if that's me. If anybody can hear in the comments if that's me or Lawrence, but we keep freezing.
No.
Okay, you're back. Okay.
Yeah, they're New Year's Eve, and then I'm going there again in a few weeks, and then I'm going there on April 12th. That's the plan, at least, to film at a haunted location. I know
that's the surprise one, right?
It's kind of a secret. I'm keeping a few videos secret, kind of. I'm filming out a place in New Jersey in next month. That's a absolutely top secret location,
Mhm.
but it's a pretty cool place. So I think
I know you've had a couple teasers on your website, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what this is.
and I got a few things planned. I'm going to West Virginia. I'm
Mhm.
going to Trans-Allegheny in April. Never been there before. I'm going back down to
You're gonna
West
love it.
Virginia. I'm sure I will. Like, I can't wait to go down
Mhm.
there. I'm going back down to West Virginia again, like 2 weeks after that, in May, to film at a haunted cabin. I'm looking forward to. I'm going to be making a pit stop in Pittsburgh. So I'm going to try to film something there. We'll see.
When you could make a stop at the Doss House while you're there, because that's right
Yeah.
outside of Pittsburgh.
I'm intrigued by that place. I don't know anything about
Mhm.
it. I know I'm not familiar with it at all. I know nothing about it.
Yeah. You should. I think you should. Like, if you're
Yeah,
going
you
out
should
that
check that
direction,
out.
if you want to find a day and take it, and I really think it would be a good location for you to check out. I would love to see you in there all by yourself.
It looks cool. And I want to learn more about the history of it. I mean, it looks like it's my cup of tea.
It
It's
is.
right up my alley.
It is. Absolutely. And well, in the town in general, it's like so old and so quaint and so little. It's an Allegheny town, and Charles Schwab Estates is there. Do you know who Charles
Yeah.
Schwab is?
Yeah.
That's in this
Okay.
town. And then there's St. Michael's Basilica.
Okay. And it's what? Loretto? That's the town's name?
It's Loretto, Pennsylvania, which is right outside of, it's like Altoona, Johnstown, in between Altoona and Johnstown.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I know Johnstown is infamous for that flood.
Oh, yes.
Mhm. Many years ago. I've been meaning to stop there and do some sightseeing, but we have to get a chance. But Western PA, there's some interesting places out in Western Pennsylvania.
There's things that happened to me in that house that I never ever had happen to me before.
In the
He's not
dock
scared
house,
to go anywhere.
Uh,
I think I lost him. But if you guys can still see me, let me know. Oh boy. Oh, I think I lost him. But I guess I'll be taking over the show now, right? Are we still good? Let me check my Facebook to see. Is it me? Is it my internet?
Is it me? Is it my internet?
Oh, I think I'm still. Am I good? Oh, am I the host? I'll find out in 2 seconds if I. All right, I guess I am the host. So I think Stacy and Gary froze. So welcome to the MONDOdocs show. Oh boy, what do you guys want to talk about? Let me open this chat up and wow, where's my cat? I need a co-host. Oh boy. So I get this is my time to shine and to self-plug everything. Go to MONDOdocs on YouTube. Go subscribe. I do a lot of documentaries about the paranormal and strange people and places, and I go to a lot of abandoned places too. Did a video at Penhurst a couple years ago, which is beyond creepy, unsettling. And I did a video at a place called the Pines Inn, which is an old abandoned retirement home, and it's the scariest place I've ever been to. So check it out on my YouTube channel. The video is called "The Scariest Place in New Jersey." My most recent video, it was a documentary on A Nightmare in New Hope, which is a horror museum located in New Hope, Pennsylvania. So go check that out and leave a like and leave a thumbs up and a comment. And just waiting for Stacy and Gary to come back because I don't know what else to talk about here. But let me open up the chat real quick. This is something. Boy. All right, I got Nat from ACG, got Kathy. All right. Well, for those who are tuning in, I'm not sure what happened, but I am not the host. I am not the host of the show. But I do know Stacy and Gary were having tech issues because it's been windy over there. So I think they lost internet. Oh, they're back now, I think.
All right. So
All right.
I'm on my phone.
Nope, you're not, Stacy. So anyway, like I was saying to MONDOdocs, definitely go subscribe to the channel. And yeah. Oh, she's back. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back, I think. Man, it's all right. I took over. I played host for a little bit there, so it's okay. We're good. I kept the folks.
I figured I was like, Lawrence is on there. I'm pretty sure I would trust him and he could go with it.
Boy, oh boy.
I don't have very good internet right now.
No, you're fine. Yeah, if you need to go, let me know. But
no, I'm connected to my phone right the minute. It literally, we got a blip in our electricity. So that made everything kind of go off.
It's crazy.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's still pretty windy here. Just honestly, I just not much.
It's still
freezing. I promoted MONDOdocs.
I'm freezing.
Talked about I just told everyone to go subscribe to MONDOdocs and talked about Penhurst videos and this video I did at this retirement home called the Pines Inn, which is the scariest place I've ever been to. But yeah, I think you're still. Are you still frozen? Can you hear me? Gang, I don't know what to do.
I'm here. You hear me now?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I can hear you. You're glitching in and out there, but so Nat is asking if you could go anywhere over the pond. Yeah, we were trying to do a Q&A when you were gone.
Okay. Go ahead.
If you could go anywhere over the pond, where would you go? It's a very good question, Nat. And also for those who are curious, go to check out ACG Paranormal on YouTube. They're a great paranormal team, and they do a lot of great videos on YouTube. But if I would go anywhere overseas, where would I go? I'd love to go to Japan. A lot of haunted history over there. I'd love to go to the suicide forest. And yeah, just experience nightlife in Tokyo, and just enjoy it. Just embrace it. I would say Germany. I do want to go to Berlin. Definitely. And yeah, that's a few places I'd like to go to. I was in Poland for a few months back in 2013. I wasn't doing any paranormal videos then. I did bring my camera over there to do a whole kind of a exploration video of in its own little weird way, and I just filmed so much when I was over there in Poland. I was there for almost 3 months, and that's back in 2013. And for about 10 years, I did nothing with the footage. I couldn't figure out what to do with it. And when I started MONDOdocs, I was conflicted. I'm like, does any of this footage really belong on this channel? And I thought, yeah, I think it kind of does. If I edit it just right, if it's done, if it's executed in the right way, I think the video does belong. I think it does fit pretty smoothly on the MONDOdocs channel. But for those who are curious, go to the channel on YouTube, look up my Poland video.
I'd like to see. I've never seen your Poland video. I'd like to watch that. Yeah.
It's chaotic. It's a very jarring video. And it was my much younger and skinnier days. And it was fun. I mean, I got tear gassed. I got to experience some rioting. I got to experience Poland's first Halloween. And in Poland, that year, the church really, because Poland's it's a very religious country. It's a very
My husband is Polish. Gary's
Mhm.
Polish.
Okay.
That's his heritage. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. It's a
He
very
got frustrated
Catholic.
with the internet and said, "I'm going upstairs."
I don't blame him. But Poland's a very Catholic country. So the deal was, from my understanding, is that yeah, you can celebrate Halloween, fine,
Mhm.
but the kids have to come to church on Halloween, and they have to
Yeah.
dress like angels.
If that's me or him. There you go.
Oh man,
I don't know if that was me or you. You froze on me, so I don't know if that was me or you.
I don't know. But yeah, it was interesting to film inside a church on Halloween night where a bunch of the kids are dressed like angels and saints. It's kind of adorable. And got to see some old castles, went to Auschwitz. Got to see a lot in Poland. But that video, it took me 10 years to put together, but I think it's one of my favorite things that I've done so far. And it's like I said, it's a very jarring, very chaotic video, but it works.
I have to watch that. I don't know if I might have told you this. I remember that I fell asleep one night while
I think Stacy is losing the internet. Oh no. Is that a very Oh, she looks fine. Oh. Bug, I think. Oh, well. Am I the host once again of Rustic Spirit? But yeah, guys, definitely go check out the video on YouTube. It's the Poland video. Oh no, am I the host again? Oh no, someone text me. Let me know. Craziness. Not sure what's going on there. I know Stacy and Gary were having like windy conditions over there, so they're losing. Oh, there she is. Kind of. Anyway, my video of Poland, you go check it out. It's called Riots, Vodka, and Dark History. 3 months in Poland. Go check it out. It got demonetized because I had a second of like copyrighted music in it. Because I filmed inside a club, and YouTube didn't like that. My most recent video, you guys can go watch, is my Museum of Horror documentary. But yeah, I don't know if Stacy is going to come back completely. Nope. All right, well, let me go back to the chat and see if you guys have any more questions. Nat says that must have been heavy. Auschwitz was a very heavy experience in Poland. Oh,
Hello?
Oh, are we back? How are we doing over here?
And just so everybody knows, what keeps happening is my electric keeps going out. When the electric keeps going out and the lights flicker, it flickers my modem, and then my modem resets. So then I lose it until the modem comes back on. and because of the super, super high winds, I'm talking like there's trees down all in my neighborhood right now.
Crazy.
It is crazy. So we still have another half an hour, but I'm thinking with all of this craziness. I mean, what are your thoughts, Laura? Kind of like wrapping up and calling it a
Yeah.
night, because apparently this wasn't meant to
wrap
be.
up. Nah, it's
Or I can just
not a
leave and you can
problem.
take over and talk to people. I'm fine with that too.
Who knows? I mean, no. That's okay. But no, I mean, it's been a good hour. So we can wrap this up definitely. I mean, it is a school night for me, but yeah. Oh, I hear the puppy. Oh my goodness.
This is where the puppy is. Right on. It's got his own chair now, and it's right next to me on its bed.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Spoiled.
Yeah, that's all right. That dog deserves to be spoiled. But yeah, we can wrap it up. That's no problem.
I was trying to mention before it went off, I wanted to talk about this. Like, I don't know if I told you this before. I think I might have, but your show like haunts me sometimes. Like, it is. I'll be watching. Like, I put on at night that I have like relaxing something on YouTube, right? And then I'll wake up to MONDOdocs. Because I think it goes through like what you like to watch. So
Yeah.
I'll wake up and I'll open my eyes half asleep and I'm like, oh, there's Lawrence.
Terrifying.
No. And then it's like, oh, great. I'm never going to go back to sleep because where's he at now? And I got to look it up. Like, it's just like, I feel like we're kindred spirits in that with exploring like old abandoned places. I don't have the bravery anymore that I did when I was younger. I never filmed them. I just went in and looked at places. Like, I still try every now and then. Like that place I mentioned in the beginning, I want to find like where it's at and I want to send the location to you. And I think you should go check it out. It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I love abandoned places. I mean, I think I've said this before. Not on this show, but before, I think on the last time we were on together.
Yeah.
You know, abandoned places, they collect an energy that's still left there. And I think for me, when I do my videos of abandoned places, I like going in with my camera, just filming and not saying anything or much, just anything at all, really. And let the walls of that place speak for themselves. And let the house or hospital, whatever it may be, tell its story through the camera lens. Because an abandoned place, it collects so many memories, whether it's good or bad. And it's such a, an experience to go into, for example, an abandoned farmhouse from the 1900s, even the 1800s, that's just been sitting there, neglected, rotting away. And there's no one really to preserve it. It's just kind of there. So I think it's just, I don't know. It's a unique experience going to a place like that and feeling what it has to offer to you. And I'm grateful I get to go in these places with my camera and document them, and sometimes to capture some EVPs. As I mentioned before, when I was the host of the show for 2 seconds, I went to the Pines Inn, this old retirement home in New Jersey.
Oh yes,
and
that was freaky. I saw that one.
That's the creepiest. That's the scariest place I've ever been to. Without a doubt, the scariest place I've ever walked into, and it caught what I think is an EVP. I walk in the one room and you hear like a whisper, like a hey, and it. To me, it's clear as day. I didn't hear it in real time. It's a classic EVP. And I've gotten those. I've caught one at this abandoned Yogi Bear campground in West Virginia. We're walking around and you just hear someone go, nope. And it's really, and Norwich State Hospital. I was in the basement and my friend was on the steps. And I'm walking around the basement. I'm peeking in the one room. I peek into the camera. You can hear like a faint, like a, hey. Then I turn around. I'm walking on, and mind you, I didn't hear any of this in real time. I turn around. I'm walking down. Then you just hear a, hey, right in the camera, like just like they're right next to me, and it's so clear. But I think I lost Stacey again. But I hope you guys got to hear the story. And I hope you enjoyed
I
it.
think we both started
Oh.
circling, and I was like, I'm going to turn my camera off and turn my camera back on and see what happens. You never know.
Yeah. Right. But
I did hear most of the story about the Yogi Bear, and then that was pretty much all I heard.
okay. Yeah, we're down in North State Hospital. Caught a,
Oh yeah,
we're in the basement. I caught an EVP of someone saying, "Hey, hey, turn around." Started walking some more. Then you hear it clear as day, like even a louder, like, "Hey," right in the camera. So it was something. I mean, and that's the great thing about going to these places is letting things happen naturally. Let things just kind of happen for themselves, and let whatever is there, do the talking.
So obviously you've been to Gettysburg. Right outside of Gettysburg in Michoud State Forest, there's the POW camp. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I filmed there.
Okay. I thought you did. I thought I saw a film of there. Well, in Pine Grove State Forest, which is a little bit further, my directions are messed up, south, I think. You keep going down 233 there to Pine Grove State Forest, and you come off of like where Fuller Lake is, and you take the path off of there, off the Appalachian Trail. There is an abandoned Girl Scout camp, but also eventually turned into like a family fun center. So there's all these there's the pool still there is the only really structure you can still see that, oh, this was a pool, but then there's like these concrete slabs throughout this whole like trail. That might be a cool place for you to go check out.
Pine Grove State Forest, you said? Let me look it up and see.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar, actually. You might have mentioned it before.
I think I have.
Pine Grove State Forest. Oh my goodness, puppy.
If you just look up Pine Grove State Forest Girl Scout Camp, she's so dramatic.
So am I.
Exploring in early 1900s. Have you heard of Wandering Out Yonder, the YouTube channel?
Oh, what is it called?
Wandering Out Yonder.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, this is exploring the 1900s Girl Scout camp. They have a video of it. Abandoned pool. Yeah, wandering. The Wandering Wood. It's Copper Haven. It's Copper Haven Trail. The Wandering Woodsman. He's the one.
Oh yeah, I watch them. I watch them all the time.
It's ruins along the Copenhagen Trail, Pine Grove. Okay. I'm going to send you the link.
Yeah, I might have seen that video, but send it to me. But the Wandering Woodsman, yeah, he's gone to a lot of interesting places. A few places, and in the early days of MONDOdocs,
what is your problem?
People who's going to tune in are going to be like, is that a dog or is that a goblin? Is it a ghost?
It's a goblin. She's a goblin.
A gremlin?
She is.
But
she's a gremlin. Don't feed her after midnight.
Oh boy. Perfect.
Yeah.
In the early days of Mondo, I got some ideas from him. It's like Hickory Run, State Park up here in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's just some trails, some waterfalls, and there's kind of an abandoned cemetery out in the woods in the state park area. And most of the people who are buried there died in a mass flood that took place there, I think, in the 1800s. And he did a video there years ago, and that's when I first found out about that, that state park and that cemetery, from his video.
I'm just trying to figure out where the dog is going. In my area in general, too, we have some abandoned stuff, too. Have you heard of Running Through History on YouTube?
No.
Okay. He does a lot of this Eastern Pennsylvania stuff. We have a lot of Underground Railroad stuff here. And I think he's like a history teacher here in this area. And he has there's a lot of cool stuff around here. Susan and I, Susan Skills.
Yes, I do.
Susan and I went and did some and so Susan and I and Jim went and did some exploration. Got caught by Game Commission. And we were going because there's an old abandoned it's called Gut Road down here, like about 5 minutes from me. And it's right off of Susquehanna, and there's like Underground Railroad tunnels that come up, but there's an old abandoned quarry, and in this quarry, there's like living quarters where the guys had lived and everything like that. You can't, it's private property now. You can't access it. So we were like you can go down Gut Road, and then they have these tunnels, and the tunnels lead off into there. So we go under the bridge, and we're like literally right under the bridge. There's no trespassing signs. Never occurred to any of us during this time when Game Commission was up here. Like, what are you guys doing? That you didn't know that you couldn't go there. Like, if you were just some wanderer that stopped by, there's nothing that says no trespassing. So we were down there, and he's like just came out of freaking nowhere. No idea where he came from. It's Gary, me, Susan, and Jim. And we're like down there, like getting ready to walk through this tunnel and go over to where we're not supposed to go. And he like appears out of nowhere, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, he's like, "You're not supposed to be down there, and go in there." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're just looking for rocks."
Looking for rocks. All right, yeah, that's a good excuse.
I was like, "We're looking for rocks. I'm a rock collector," and stuff like that. And he's just like, we thought about it afterwards, and I'm like, there was no like. We should have said, like, we didn't know we're supposed to be down here. Like, of course, I knew we weren't supposed to be down there, but
you could have said, "Oh, okay," but collecting rocks is also a good excuse. I mean, that's
it was. Right?
Oh,
we're just looking up, and I'm like, "Where did you come from?"
They got, yeah, they do come out of nowhere. They're pretty,
and it's a dirt road. We would have heard him in his truck, and I'm like,
interesting. I remember I got so in probably shouldn't tell us, but in New Jersey you have it was what was it, Hardwick Township, and back in the night, it was a small little town in Jersey along the Delaware Water Gap, and the 1950s the U.S. government acquired most of this land to build a dam. It was called the Tox, the Tox Dam Project, and they're going to demolish these homes and build a dam along that area. The project fell through. The dam was never built. So a lot of these homes and buildings remained abandoned and just kind of rotting away in the woods. Some of them, the national park, the national park ranger, they took it over essentially. And so it was NPS land, the National Park Service. So they took it over, and they started preserving some of the buildings and so forth. But some of the houses were just kind of left there, neglected. So one of the houses I managed to film at, and I remember parking down the road, beelining it through the woods, got to the back of the house, walked in, filmed, and then walked out. And I thought, well, all right, I can walk back to my car using the road instead of having to go through the woods, because I'm just going back to my car now. As soon as I step onto the road, onto the pavement, a park ranger pulls up to me, and he's like, "How you doing?" I was like, "Oh, pretty good." And he's like, "All right, I guess you're not going inside the house." I'm like, "Nope, just taking some pictures from outside." He's like, "All right, it's very good. See you later." And then he pulled away, and then
you went inside.
No, I was done. I was done filming. Yeah, I just finished filming.
So you were out. Yeah, you had already been out.
I went in, filmed, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll just take the road back to my car." Walk onto the road, first step onto the pavement, he pulls right up. Yeah, he was like, "All right." And then they saw the video, and they called me.
I'm not going to give my town. People know where, like, the kind of town I live in, but I'm not going to give my town away because I don't want to give this away. But there's an old abandoned prison. Like, it's unsafe to go in there. I understand, like, it's unsafe. In the city near me, and I would love to get in there, and you and I should go in there one time.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I know people have gone in there. Because it's
people go in there all the time. I saw a guy going in there today because I do behavioral health, behavior consultant, and there's a pre-K right behind it. So I was in the pre-K, and here's a guy walking through and going in, and I'm like.
I know people. I've seen videos people going in there, and it seems risky because it's right there in town. Like, everyone can see you going in there essentially. But I do want to go there because it looks interesting.
The most riskiest part about going in there is not the cops.
I'm sure the squatters in there. I'm sure it's beyond dangerous. And that's the risk you take with any abandoned place. I
Mhm.
mean, even with the Pines Inn in Jersey, you
There's
know,
squatters in there, right? Did you find clothes and stuff in
uh,
there?
oh, there are a lot of clothes and mattresses and so forth. Now, mind you, this was, like I said, an old retirement home, and I think it shut down in 2008, and it was an overnight thing. So overnight, they transported all the residents out of the building to wherever else. So all the belongings, for the most part, were left behind, along with
No.
a lot of paperwork. Uh-oh, somebody's yelling at the dog.
She's eating something she's not supposed to eat.
Oh boy, yeah, that's I get yelled at for doing the same thing. But they, it's a lot of clothes left behind, and paperwork and documents.
Mhm.
So when you go there, you see a lot of clothing that are there either from squatters or the residents of the facility. In fact, down in the basement of the facility, there's a long hallway in the basement, and you can't even see the floor of the basement. It's all clothing.
I watched that episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that place is really interesting, and there were definitely, I don't know. Both times I went there, because I went there to film, and then I came back home and I was cutting together the footage, and it didn't look that great. It was shaky. My adrenaline was going through me. Like, it was just not great. So I had to go back a second time. So I went there to film a second video, and luckily was able to get something good out of it. And both times I went, I felt like someone was there watching me. Especially the second time, I felt like someone was there, just kind of lingering.
Didn't you say in the video you weren't sure if it was a spirit or maybe a squatter like around the corner watching you?
I think I kind of stated that it likely wasn't paranormal, but probably just a squatter. The weird whisper I caught on camera, the EVP, was weird.
That was weird.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, it was a very interesting place. I probably want to go back there ever again.
And I was just about to ask, like, since internet's doing really good right now, is that your favorite abandoned? I know your favorite place in general, like paranormal, might be different, but your favorite abandoned place, was that your favorite you've been to, or is there others?
I think Norwich State Hospital up in Connecticut is my favorite place I've been to, where I caught those EVPs of the hay and so forth. I've been there. I went there twice. And that place it's huge. It's fascinating. There's something unique about it. I've gone to Penhurst, gone to how many other places now, but Norwich State Hospital was a very unique hospital. I can't explain it. It just kind of sucks you in, and it's just, I don't know. There's something unique and special about it. But I mean, I probably won't get a chance to go back there ever again. Remember, it's up in Connecticut, and I think they're going to demolish it soon. But that place was definitely, one of a kind. So
So Nat says squatters are 100% scarier than any ghost.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, ghosts,
I agree with that.
In my opinion, spirits can't hurt you, but a squatter can 1,000% stab you in the face. So
exactly.
Yeah.
1,000%. I know I'm a social worker. That's what I do home visits. I'm a community worker. I go to different homes. I'm from a city. I'm very comfortable with city, but you send me out in the boondocks to some trailer in the middle of nowhere, and I start hearing banjos playing. I am more scared of squatters in like abandoned locations, like out in the middle of nowhere, than I am like going to the place we're talking about.
Banjos. I feel like I'm at home when I hear banjos. I grew up in rural Jersey,
and I grew up in the city, so I love rural. But when I have to go to rural, I could live, like I now live in a rural area. I'm fine with that. But if I have to go as working as a social worker to a rural area, it's a whole different ball game.
A lot of it's a whole different subculture out on the moody. But it's I mean, I love the booties. But and I love West Virginia. I mean, I gone down to West Virginia. I think I think once when I was younger, and I really liked it. And I went there again a couple years ago to go to Point Pleasant, to the Mothman
That's where I want to
Museum.
go.
Yep,
I need to do Mothman. Yeah.
and that's a fun place. And driving through West Virginia, I loved it, and I'm really going to go back there again. And when I go back there in May to that cabin, I'm hoping I can actually talk to locals, and I'm going to make a pit stop in Sutton, West Virginia, which is where the Bigfoot Museum is, what the Flatwoods Monster Museum is, and so forth. But Point
you ever
Pleasant,
thought about maybe doing a town hall and having people come, like announce a town hall and see if they would show up at like a local bar or cafe or diner?
yeah, that'd be interesting. Have a MONDOdocs town hall.
Yeah.
But Point Pleasant, you got to get there. It's a cool place. Very small. And you get the Mothman statue there with this very elegant butt. It's very shiny. You can touch it.
Because everybody rubs it, right?
Everybody rubs his butt. The Mothman butt. And there's really there are no stories about anything paranormal. Nothing really, quote unquote, haunted about the Mothman area. You have the bunkers, which were the Mothman lair where he resides or used to reside, and there are just a few bunkers. Touch the butt. And they're the bunkers that were used to store TNT explosives during World War II. So there should be some energy left behind there, in theory.
That's what I feel, yeah.
And there is, because we caught an EVP in the one bunker. We were walking through the last bunker the night, and it was the two of us, and then you just hear a man go, "Hello," and it's loud as hell. In the video. And that video is on my YouTube channel as well. And we don't know what it was. I have a theory that most things paranormal, it's not necessarily those who are deceased. In some cases, more probably. But I think it's, in a lot of cases, some kind of, I think we discussed it before, it's dimension crossover. There's some energy or there's some universal crossover happening. Sometimes
I agree with you there.
And with the Mothman bunker, for example, it's World War II. This military officer is in this bunker, working, doing paperwork, whatever he's doing. Here's two jackasses coming in talking. He's gonna go, "Hello," and maybe there was some time slip thing where he heard us, we heard him through the footage. I mean, similar with the Conjuring house, for example. Up there, we were in the backyard filming and investigating. And in the video, you hear a young child ask, "Are you a ghost?" And it's clear as day. My theory is that maybe it was one of the Perrin daughters or someone else who used to reside there back in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 1800s, whichever it may be. At some point, whatever time period it was, there might have been some kind of time slip there where, once again, they're in the backyard playing and they hear three people talking to the trees. And if I was a little kid and I heard three, the voices of three different people coming from the woods, essentially, I'd be like, "Are you a ghost? Like, what is going on here?" So I do think in a lot of cases, it's a time slip. It's not necessarily, quote unquote, ghostly. And Gettysburg is a good example of that. Gettysburg's a lot of
absolutely
it's a lot of leftover energy. Okay. And then you have a lot of time slips going on there. You get the stories of the phantom troops who come out of the woods, scoot in and out.
So I want to clarify. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to clarify. Like, when you're talking about time slips, you are classifying those different as residual energy, right?
I think there, because it's not in a way, in its own way, yes, it's energy, but I think it's more, it's a parallel universe. It's the same, it's a same timeline and a different
time is
period.
an illusion. Time really is an illusion. People do not realize how much our brains are made to make order out of chaos, and this whole time thing is an illusion.
I'll let you know if it's an illusion when I turn 38 tomorrow. But
Okay, I turned 48 this year, so
48, man. Yeah,
yeah,
that's like you know what, I hear that 48 is the new 28. That's what I hear.
yeah.
So
Tell my body that.
you know, that's the thing. For me, I think the knees are going. And whenever I stand up from somewhere, I'm like, oh, my knees, Jesus Christ. But no, I think in a lot of cases it's a matter of time and energy crossing over into our universe, our dimension, and our energy crossing over into their dimension. And it's just like we're both interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And you can either hear it, you can either interact with each other and hear each other, maybe even see each other in real time, or through EVP evidence or whatever it may be. So, but
I was going to mention also smells. Like I feel like, because that was like my first experience as a kid was smelling my grandfather's pipe, and there was no pipe around, and I wondered if that's like a time slip, like where he was actually smoking a pipe and it came through for me. But I do smells a lot. I smell things all the time.
Yeah, I remember at the Selma Mansion. I remember
I love that place.
You would smell perfume every now and then. I do remember that. Selma's crazy. That place is.
The Doss House reminds me of Selma, and here we go. We're going to talk about the Doss House. It'd be funny if the internet messes up again. I'm not going to like. We can talk off camera about some of the reasons why I think that's happening, but the Doss House reminds me of Selma. It's a very similar type energy there. But yeah,
that's what it reminds me of. When I
me too.
When I saw pictures of it and so forth, I'm like, it reminds me of Selma. So does White Hill in Jersey. I've not gone to White Hill. Have you gone to White Hill, the White Hill Mansion or whatever it's called?
I have not. He keeps trying to get me to come out. We had plans to go, and then nothing. It didn't pan out. So I'm hoping to go the Monday after Penhurst with Jenny.
Nice. Yeah,
so Monday the 19th.
Yeah, I've not gone to White Hill yet. I'm intrigued by it. I don't know. It's not. It seems cool. My friend Kristen speaks highly of it. She says it's great.
Yeah.
So we might have to go check it out. But that also reminds me of Selma Mansion, puppy. But Selma's great. I do enjoy an old 1700s mansion.
But you were talking about Selma and like some residual or time slip there.
A little bit. I mean, it's when it comes to
I'll tell you what happened to me there, but go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, it just this smell of perfume. And I remember the last time we were there, we were on the second floor landing. You go up the steps at that like not because it's not a hallway, it's just that landing that connects to the different rooms. Yeah, the second floor. Yeah. So you have the bell on the first floor by the kitchen, and we're up the stairs. Like, hey, is there someone who can bring us some food? We're kind of hungry, this and that. And then we just hear ding, 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 the bell is ringing. And it's nuts. It was so loud. Cool. Yeah. So that place, and there's a few, we've got a really good EVP there as well. Because my friend Kristen was using the dowsing rods in the basement. And in the footage, you hear someone go, help her. And it's clear as day. But that's in my Selma Mansion video on the channel, which was like years ago.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at that one.
That's an old one, yep.
Because my heart's with Selma. I really do. I do a lot of events there. I've been there a lot. The very first time I was at Selma, they made themselves known to me. I was talking with Jim Houston on that second floor landing. I was, how you come up the second floor, and that first room on your right, which would have been, I guess, the maid's room or the caretaker, the nanny. I don't know who that was. The one that took care of the wife. And it had the walk through the other room. So it's the first room on your right-hand side. So we were set up there for a craft fair, and that's where I had my table and all my stuff. But I was out in the hallway talking to Jim. So I had, you have the bins with the lids on top. So I had my bin with my lid on top, but I didn't click it on. It was just kind of laying on top because I think that's where I had my bags to pack people's stuff in. And so I would have to get in there often. So Jim and I are just sitting there I don't know, we're talking about something something. And the lid of the bin flew across the room. Like there was
And it's-
nobody in the room. Jim and I were outside of the room. It just flew across the room. I'm like, okay.
you watched the lid of this bin just kind of just
I mean,
levitate.
it didn't fly across the room. It just it flew off the top of the and then just like went across the floor. Very
Okay.
poltergeist type stuff.
Yeah.
And Jim I was not the only one that witnessed it. It wasn't Jim. You could ask Jim. Like we just sat there and we looked at each other like, and he's like, yeah, that's what they do here because he spends a lot of time at Selma.
Jim loves Selma. Yeah. And
He does.
He's the one who told me about it.
Super
Yeah.
connected.
Yeah.
He is super connected to Selma. So I'm wondering if I feel like that woman that was in that room is very connected to Jim. And I was talking to Jim and I wonder if there was some type of jealousy, like, hey, no, that's my Jim.
Maybe. Yeah, because he's always there. He's always there volunteering and investigating. So he's very connected. That's like his, my Farnsworth house. Like that's like his, that's his Farnsworth house. Yeah, essentially. But yeah, no,
Isn't it funny great. We all have a place?
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. But we go to a location and it connects to us for whatever reason, whether it's based on experiences or you feel like you're at home essentially. Farnsworth House, I feel like I'm at home, and
oh, Susan's on. We were talking about you. Happy birthday, Susan.
Oh, Susan, happy birthday.
Susan, I was talking about our adventure where we went into off a gut road when I took you guys there and we went into the tunnels and we weren't supposed to be there and the game commission just like showed up out of nowhere. And we were like, I'm like, we're looking for rocks. Susan may not have found a couple, what is it? Spray painted penises underneath of the bridge.
Wait, you guys spray painted?
No, we did not. We found them.
I think every abandoned place you go to, that's the biggest thing about my videos too. It's like how many dicks am I going to see today? And there's always at least
you
one.
You have a couple in your videos.
Yeah. That's even the last house I went to a few months ago. It was this beautiful early 1900s farmhouse. I think someone said it was 1800s, but actually no, it is. It's an 1800s house, and and I think the wallpaper is still up in some of the rooms. There's some artwork still in there, and it's a beautiful house. And yeah, there's at least one or two decks. And it's like, really, like you guys just couldn't leave this one alone. But what are you gonna do?
I just want to show you real quick because this is. Hold on, where am I at? I'm trying to figure out. Okay, how do I do this? Present, share screen. Okay. So this is the location. I don't know if you can actually see the dicks.
Yeah. Oh.
But this is where we were at. I was with Jim and Susan. Oh, wrong way. That was breakfast before we went. That's the tunnels.
Okay. Huh.
So if you come here, and then behind Jim, there's another tunnel that leads to the abandoned thing. Abandoned camp. Workers camp. Yeah, there. See back there? That's that other tunnel. Like that's what we were trying to get to.
Oh, that's cool. And then the guy showed up.
And then he literally showed up. Yeah, see it? There it is. I got to close up.
You were so close.
I know. We were almost there. Look, there it is. I wanted to go. But that the second link I sent to you in your messenger, the running into history, I didn't send you this. He did get permission and he went through here. I don't know how he got permission, but he got permission and went and explored it. So in his YouTube channel, it is somewhere in there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was us. I'm going to end it now because then that was when the game commission came and then we went to the river.
Yeah, that looks cool. Huh. And where exactly is it again?
It's called Gut Road. It is Union Quarry. I believe it's Union Quarry. I literally live 5 minutes from there.
Yeah, I'll look into it. That seems interesting.
Union Stone Quarry. Yeah, it's outside of Saginaw, Pennsylvania. If you want to come out, let me know. I will guide you down there to that road. Definitely. if there's been recent rain, the road is closed. So because it's so like river level, you can't get down there.
Gotcha. Gotta get back to the Hoover House soon. Other players may want their tinkle behind the tree.
And that guy.
I just hate that. I just want to go tingle in the woods and some guy shows up. The worst.
I know, Susan. We need to find out how to get permission. I'm trying to, like, the guy who runs the only video that I've seen ever of this place, the Running in History, he never puts his name. I don't know how to, like, get in touch with him. He lives in my area. I want to get in touch with him to see.
With the Wandering Woodsman?
No, this is Running in History.
Oh, gotcha.
The second link I sent you into your message.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got to find out who he is and see how he got permission, because it'd be cool to go in there. It's really cool. Yeah, but he's like that. He showed out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, he's like standing over top of us on top of the. Right, what?
Well, like I said, when I went to that abandoned house in Jersey, I stepped out of the house, stepped onto the road, and all of a sudden, a park ranger's next to me in his Jeep. I'm like, where the hell did you come from? I'm like, how did you even? What teleportation device did you use to get here?
Serious. I think they teleport.
Yeah, nuts. But yeah, I gotta plan more. I don't have any abandoned places planned yet. I'm kind of looking at some and kind of trying to pull the trigger and just go film at them. But I mean, the channel has been not changing, but focusing more on traditional documentary formats. More just like storytelling documentaries, having someone sit in front of the camera and just tell their story. I did this with Tom Demko and the Orphanage. I did this with this guy Jeremy and his girlfriend who owned this oddity shop.
I liked that with the Orphanage. I did watch that one. That was like
good. Thank you. That was fun to film. There's a shop up in Honesdale, PA. That documentary is one of my favorite things that I've done so far. That one is called A Shop of the Macabre. Go check that out. It's really good.
Okay.
And then you have Devil's Last Laugh, which is about a local small town haunted attraction. But kind of going back to the original, not really purpose, but the original goal of the channel was to kind of just talk to interesting people and have them tell the stories because they're unique, maybe even a little morbid. But that's what I want to do.
But we're macabre. We like that stuff.
Yeah. And in the mix, do some paranormal stuff and go to abandoned places.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. So where can people find you? Obviously, is it MONDOdocs.com or
no website.
You don't have a website, right?
Nope. Someone purchased that domain. But it's go to MONDOdocs on YouTube. And on Facebook and also on TikTok as well. But
I haven't followed you on TikTok. I have to
yeah. You might find me under my name on there is That Weird Filmmaker. But just look at MONDOdocs on TikTok and you'll find me. Do a lot of short form stuff on there. I have a lot of videos on that channel, on that account. But go to YouTube. Go subscribe.
I have multiple YouTube channels, and the one for the podcast, I wasn't subscribed. I am now.
Oh, well, you better subscribe.
I was actually going in there to get the link.
But I'm filming a video at a pretty cool place next month, and I have a few things planned. So it's gonna be a busy year. Winter is tough because it's tough to plan things. Like I have something planned this Saturday, not for filming, but a fun thing to do. And it's my birthday weekend, and it's like a snow ice storm coming. So I'm like, this is why I don't plan things to film.
I know. What are you planning? Like,
go to Penhurst for the haunted attraction.
I will be there.
Are you? It's Saturday.
I'm doing the readings there Friday and Saturday. I was wondering. I was thinking, is he going to be at Penhurst?
I'll be at Penhurst. So if I make it down there with this damn weather,
well, Friday we're looking good. Saturday I'm a little worried about.
Of course, we got tickets for Saturday, and pain in my butt. But
hopefully, like this last one said, it was going to be so big, and it was nothing. So hopefully we have nothing.
Hopefully it's nothing.
Beth is going to be a reader there too. So Beth and I are in the VIP room. I don't know if you got VIP tickets, but
no, just general.
Okay, if not, text me when you're there. We'll come
Yeah,
out and say hello and all
whichever.
that kind of stuff. It'll be cool.
But yeah,
That's
no,
where they
Penhurst.
play stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I look forward to it. I mean, I've never been to the haunted attraction during Halloween time, so
Mhm.
to actually go to it for Valentine's Day weekend, I'm pretty excited to see it and check it out. And I just love Penhurst. Penhurst is such a
Mhm.
it's haunted as hell. Like I'm going,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
going, and I'm going. I've been there a few times now. I'm going back there
I
again
got
in June.
soaked in Mayflower.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It can be a pretty heavy place. I mean, one of my favorite
Mhm.
experiences there. I mean, we've heard women humming there, loud
Mm-hmm.
bangs, thuds. Granted, it's an abandoned hospital. Things are gonna make thud and banging noises. But my friend Sean and we were in this one room in the Mayflower, and we were doing an
Mhm.
EVP session. And it was right before Halloween. I think it was like a week. I think it was the week of Halloween. And I asked, I'm like, do you know what holiday is coming up? It's a holiday, get to dress up all spooky and blah, blah, blah. And in the playback, you just hear like a Halloween. Like it's someone clearly saying Halloween.
It's so cool.
It's pretty awesome. But I'm going back there again in June for an investigation with my friends Sarah Grimm and Fred Ayers. But it's going to be, yeah, I can't wait to go back there again just to investigate it and just to be there. So I might go to Paracon at Penhurst in May. Was it May 15th or whatever? It's
May 15th and
Yeah.
16th.
might
no,
go there.
16th and 17th, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I went there back in 2023.
Mhm.
It was and it wasn't bad. It was fun.
I usually vend there. I don't know if I'm vending this year. Based just on it's Gary's birthday and I
Yeah.
it's whether I can bring the dog and stuff like that. But I am doing an investigation that Saturday night, but that won't affect it if I do vend. I can just ride over to the investigation.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually will not investigate Penhurst.
You won't investigate it.
No, it's a state hospital for children with, well, I guess more than children, but children with disabilities.
Yeah.
And that's the field I work in.
Right.
So it's very overwhelming for me. I've done tours, and I walked into Mayflower and got like that choke and heavy feeling in my chest.
Okay.
And down in the tunnels, I got stuff like just like walking through. I wasn't doing an official investigation, but I feel like when I go there, they know what I do for a living. They know I'm a social worker.
Mhm.
And they know I'm a therapist and a counselor, and half of them think I can help them, and the other half think I'm just as bad as the people that were there that treated them that way.
Mm.
So it's very overwhelming for me. So I would probably never do a full scale investigation there.
It could be a pretty heavy duty place. I mean, it has a pretty dark history.
It is.
I mean, the patients there were not treated as humans when they were there. So the history of the place is very, very, very grim. And yeah, for those who are watching, if you've never been there to investigate, if you can, I mean, it's expensive, because we need a group of like 10 people to go there. But like,
Yeah,
it's
worth it. You're going to get evidence.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, we were there in the tunnel in Mayflower, and you put a recorder at the end of the tunnel, walked maybe closer to the other end of the tunnel, and let it record. Right, we're investigating. During an EVP session, during the playback, you just hear a woman whimpering and crying, and it's like it's so weird. But it's a lot of misery. Took place there. So.
Well, it was open until, when did it close down?
Honestly, I forget.
It was 1970s or 80s, maybe. So it hasn't been closed that long. And I'm going to be completely transparent and honest that it's not the only state school, and some of those state schools still exist. And the conditions are not much.
I mean, Letchworth Village up in New York only closed down, I think, in the late 90s, I think. And that was a horrible...
We have one open still here in Pennsylvania.
Which one do we have
Not
open?
far from Gettysburg, Abraxas.
Okay.
You can't get on property; they will chase you off.
It sounds familiar, and it's
still
in.
Jerry, are you still on? Because it's in your town, Mount Alto. There's two locations of Abraxas. There's one up in northern PA and one close to Gettysburg, Mount Alto. about 30 minutes outside of Gettysburg, 40 minutes maybe.
How do you
Not far from the Hoover House.
spell that?
Mount Abraxas.
Yeah.
It is, and this is still. And here's another abandoned thing.
This is still an operation, isn't it?
The school is still in operation. Abraxas is spelled ABRAXIS. But I have a friend who was a resident there when he was a child. He is now 38, maybe 38 years old. At the time when he was a resident there, it's the Michoud Forest around there. It's Appalachian Trail. All of that is around there. They had a camp. Abraxas had a camp in the area that they had little I guess cabins or whatever. Like you've seen like Girl Scout, Boy Scout camps, but this was a school that had, because it was in a mountain area and in a recreational area, they had a camp there. It's now abandoned. And it was like some weird freaking experiences there. And he was like, the counselors would tell them, please don't roam. You cannot roam out of this area because things are going to happen. And of course they could just been telling them that as kids, so they wouldn't roam. But there were some weird stories. I also had a friend who used to actually work at Abraxas and tell me some stories about some of the things that happened there. I'm not going to talk about it because it's still working. I'm not going to talk about it live. We can talk off air because it's still a working facility. But these facilities do still exist. This is the only state run, I think, in Pennsylvania that still exists, and still aren't great places for kids.
Yeah. I mean, they were never great places for the most part, but they all were shut down. I mean, Letchworth, which I got to film last year. I mean, which is a huge campus. That shut down, like I said, I think the late 90s. I might be wrong. But it's just a lot of abuse, a lot of mistreatment of patients that happened there. And it's, when you walk through there, it's a very surreal, like most abandoned hospitals, very surreal, very dark. Letchworth especially is a very grimy location, one of the grimiest. But
I've not seen that one. Yeah,
that place is huge. It's a huge campus. And the
Letchworth, you said?
Oh, Letchworth, yeah, Letchworth. That video is on my YouTube channel too. But the thing is, it's a park now. So you can park your car, you can walk around, you can walk your dog, ride your bike, and you can go. You see the buildings, like you can go up to them, take pictures. Yeah. You're not really supposed to go inside the buildings, but the doors are open, so have fun. And a lot of people go in there, take pictures. But I did go into one of the buildings and film, and yeah, it's an interesting location, to say the least. But it's just surreal that you can just go there and walk your dog and hang out and look at these look at these haunting looking buildings. Yeah.
Oh, I got chills. Oh, I need to go there.
Yeah.
Like Mother Nature's taking it over. I could see that. There's a lot of growth.
Oh my God, yeah. And I went there when I just finished training, I think. So it was all muddy and grimy. But it was cool though. It was cool to walk through there.
Yeah.
Definitely haunted.
Oh yeah. Well, those people. Okay. So Brittany's saying Torrance. I'm not sure what Torrance is. Might still be state run. Kimberly is saying they're transferring a lot of other state places. Traditionally high, intellectually disabled. That's my dog. I don't know if you can hear that. They're mixing the criminally insane and violent. Not great. Yeah, and well, what happened, Brittany, is back in the 1970s, we had a deinstitutionalization movement that everybody's like, let's shut down the institutions because we need to integrate these people into society and be more accepting of them. Except the plan didn't go very, very well. Like I learned this like in my college courses. Like the plan didn't go very, very well. Like how are we going to integrate these kiddos and these people into society that did have some mentally ill things, which I agree. Like, once we got antidepressants and medication, anti psychotics, all of that stuff, when that started coming out, people could now function in society, so they didn't need to be in mental institutions. But the transition from one to the other was not smooth. And this was like a whole United States thing. It was not smooth, and that's why we end up with institutions that were closing. Some stayed open, some short-staffed, and we ended up with a lot of people in prison that really just had mental health issues. So, sorry, that's a whole...
There's so much history with that too in the U.S. Just so many states. Yeah. It's a whole.
There's also legend. Like, have you ever heard of Seven Gates of Hell?
Yeah, I remember that legend way back in the day. Yep.
I live near that.
Okay.
And I actually took Susan. If you're still on here, we drove past to what was the Seven Gates of Hell, and this is I think there's multiple versions of this, but the legend was it was a mental institution back there, and it caught on fire, and they escaped. This is urban legend. They escaped, so they built, like, somehow blocked these people out with these 7 gates. I don't know.
Right.
That was just one of the legends. No one can prove anything what happened back there, but you can ride and see 7 gates.
Right. Yeah, I remember it was like a weird PA legend back in the day, and I think I have a weird PA book, and I think that's in there as well. But yeah. I remember years ago, like more than that. Yeah, it's like the old, like, online paranormal forums and old, like, posting websites. It always mentioned, the 7 gates of hell in York, PA. Yeah. And I think every state has 7 gates of hell. I mean, this is a gate of hell in every state. In Jersey, you have the gates of hell.
What is wrong? Sorry, she's just whining over here.
But yeah, every state has their own gate or gates of hell. So
I think they do.
Yeah.
All right. So it is almost 10:30. We're actually usually end at 10, but you and we could probably talk all night about stuff.
Oh yeah.
And we had a lot of. Luckily, now we have like this. We've had a straight good internet for a while. I appreciate everybody that's kind of been on and staying on with all the internet issues tonight. I normally don't have internet issues. It's like the electric keeps going out, which shuts my modem off because the winds are crazy out there tonight. So I appreciate everybody that's come on. Again, all in the comments, I have left the YouTube, Lawrence's YouTube channel. Go to the comments, go follow it. Please go subscribe. Just go subscribe. Go check out a couple of the videos. It's going to be worth your while. I promise. His videos are really cool. Like, I love his artistic presentation in his videos. It just feels so real. It makes you feel like you are actually there in some of these abandoned places. But then as he's transitioning into like a new light, he is doing some of these interviews and stuff like that. And just really good energy. So go check out some of his videos. Go give him a follow and subscribe over YouTube. MONDOdocs on Facebook and TikTok, right?
MONDOdocs on TikTok and YouTube and on Facebook too.
On Facebook. So go give him a follow. Go check some of these things out and see where he's going to be next, because I feel like there's going to be some very interesting things coming up this year with him.
I think so. Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. We're going to keep it secret because that's how it's cool. I appreciate you, Lawrence, for coming on tonight and dealing with these internet things as we're trying to.
I enjoyed being a host for a few minutes here and there, but
I know.
Oh boy, but no,
I'm glad it was you, because there are some people that like freeze in front of a camera and don't know what to do when someone else is on, and they just sit there like
kind of stand there. Yeah.
I've seen it happen. But I'm glad it was you. I knew I could trust you to kind of just like take things over and start talking.
Count on me.
So maybe you should start a podcast.
I don't know. I could never do that. I don't have anything interesting to talk about. But maybe I do. I don't know. I thought about
We
it.
just spent 2 hours talking
I
about
guess
stuff.
so. I guess you're
You
right.
did most of the talking tonight.
I don't know. I'll leave the podcast to the podcasters, and just,
Yeah.
stick with YouTube.
Yeah. I think that's good. I don't know why she is whining. She might have to go out again.
It's just a
All right,
baby.
so everybody. Oh, are you okay? Are you hurt? Oh, okay. Are you okay? That kind of scared me. So, Raven, say goodbye to everybody. Say have a good night. Go ahead, say have a good night. She's gonna be my paranormal dog. I'm gonna teach her how to investigate. We're gonna put like a K2 meter on her back or something.
I support it. I support this absolutely.
Yeah. So again, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Lawrence, do you have any last words and last things you want to say before we head off of here?
No, just go to MONDOdocs on YouTube, check out some documentaries, and just enjoy them. And I'll be at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash in July as a vendor.
That's right. Yes, this year you're going to actually be a vendor.
Yeah, it's the only convention I'm going to be a vendor at. It's the only one I want to be a vendor at, and that's just a one-time thing. After that, no more vending. I'm done. I thought I've teased the idea of vending before at different conventions, but it seems like a lot of work, and like I want to enjoy myself and walk around and talk to people and see different things. So, but this year, gonna bring some of my haunted objects and some other things to the bash, and it's gonna be a good time. So, yeah.
Be careful. It's going to get in your blood. It becomes addicting.
Jesus.
It does.
I don't know.
It does. You'll see. You'll see.
I'll take a word for it. I believe it.
Okay. You'll see. It does. That's what started with me. I was like, oh, I'm just going to do like one thing. And I'm like, oh, this is
just one convention and 20 conventions later. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. And last year, I think I had one weekend off a month. Some months, no weekends off. So, yeah, it was overwhelming. It did burn us out. Like, so this year we're slowing down drastically, but I still can't give it up because it feeds my soul. It really does. So
I believe it. And that's the thing. I feel like you're always on the road. Like you're always busy. Like you're always going one convention to another. Yeah.
Well, this is my first full-time job. Right. I do my therapy and stuff part-time. So this is my full-time job. So yes, I am on the road. I won't be on the road as much this year. I've actually been home. Oh my goodness. I've been home since December 13th and it's driving me nuts and I need to go do something. So I'm very excited about this weekend to be at Penhurst.
Hell yeah.
I am. All right, guys. So thank you, Lawrence, again for being on. Please go follow him. It's in the comments or just look up MONDOdocs, MONDO. DOCS, right?
Right next to my name right there, which is Lawrence.
Right here.
So look it up on YouTube and then go subscribe. Enjoy it.
All right. Yes. And I think if you guys, all of you in the comments, everybody that was here tonight, everybody that stuck around with us with all these technical issues and internet issues tonight, I appreciate it. We couldn't be here without you. I couldn't do this without you. I would be speaking to myself. So thank you all for commenting, for sharing, for subscribing, for being part of this venture that I'm doing. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough. And you guys need to remember, as much as you do for others, do for yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. So please make sure your cup is full. Have a wonderful night.